everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would do something a little bit interesting. This video I actually wasn't planning to do an artwork like this yet. However, I was in Spotlight the other day and I saw these little wood panel things, and yeah, they were only like $1 something. I think they were on special, and yeah, I really wanted to get one and try to draw on it with my colored pencils. So I guess this is a colored pencils on wood type of video. So if you haven't noticed already, my background for my drawing is a little bit different. As I mentioned in a previous video, I've been working on a project, and yeah, kind of took all the color off the vinyl on my desk. So I just took that off and replaced it with a different one actually. So yeah, that's interesting to say the least. But anyway, to this actual video. As you can tell, I've decided that I wanted to draw a dragon, and this is mainly because I've been wanting to try to do dragons again lately. I have loved drawing dragons in the past, and I went through a time where it was the only thing I would draw forever. So yeah, I actually wanted to get back into that because I remember how fun they were to draw, and yeah. So for this artwork, I actually decided that I wanted to do a slightly lineless kind of style. Now, I'm not going to say completely lineless because you need some lines to define things. However, I wasn't concentrating on line art. I kind of just went straight in with the color, obviously doing a little bit of a sketch underneath, but really getting those details down with the colored pencils themselves. So I started going in with some random lines to sketch out the shape of the dragon, and then I went in and I kind of gave the dragon some hair. Now I wanted to try and get these colors as vibrant as I could get them, so I used a lot of a mixture between warms and cool colors, and you can definitely tell that between the bluey cyan hair and then the yellow and oranges in the dragon's body as well. And yeah, this was me trying to make this artwork look as vibrant as I could get it, because I wasn't too sure if the pencils would be vibrant against the wood, and I really wanted to test that. So for the dragon's body, I actually laid down a few different types of colors. I went in at first with a red, and I did a sort of light layer of that. And then after that I went over with an orange and then did another layer of that. And then after that I actually went in with some browns and a Tuscan red kind of color, and that was mainly to add some shading and more dynamicness, if that's a word, more dimension to the dragon's body, so that I could get it to actually look like a 3D shape and not just a flat image. After that I went in to do the dragon's horns, and I mainly did brown colors for the shadows of the horns, and then I went in with a white for the highlight, and then after I got that outline kind of done with the browns and the whites, I decided to go in with a very bright yellow. This is a kind of lemon yellow kind of color. I'm not actually sure if it actually is called lemon yellow, but that's how I would describe it, I guess. And yeah, I thought that color would contrast nicely with the colors that I had used previously. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I was correct in that, because it stands out a lot, and I actually really like the colors that are coming together in this piece. Now for the wings, I decided to go with a sort of pinky purpley kind of color, and this was mainly to bridge the gap between the reds and the blues, to try and, I don't know, tie it in together a little bit. I know it's starting to look a little bit rainbowed, but to be honest, I really wanted to concentrate and try out all the different colors on this wood, because this is actually the first time that I have used colored pencils on wood, and yeah, I was having fun and trying to make a nice artwork, of course, but I also wanted to experiment a little bit and see which colors would turn out the nicest and most opaque on this surface. After I had got most of the details down of the dragon that I wanted, I decided I wanted to give this quite a bit of a dark background, and this was mainly to accentuate the light colors on my dragon, and yeah, just make the whole thing pop and make it look nice. And I thought that, you know, I would try to go with as much contrast as I could to get this to look the way that I initially envisioned in my head. So yeah, I actually went with the violet blue kind of color. That's what it says on the pencil, and yeah, it's more of a dark kind of royally blue, I guess, a little bit darker than that. And yeah, I initially went around the outside of the dragon, making sure to sharpen my pencil as I went so that I could get some sharp details around the hairy, you know, furry bits, and also the sharp horns. And yeah, just carefully went around all of those details in a nice thick outline, just so that I could, you know, make sure I didn't mess up the outline or the look of the dragon, because I really didn't want to go over the top of any of the details and get rid of them. After I did that, I went in with some white pencil and I just blocked in some random shapes for clouds in the background, because of course I didn't want to just have a plain one color background, which I've been doing lately. So I actually wanted to get some nice details in, and yeah, I decided to go with a sort of nighttime sky, I guess, and get some like nice soft fluffy clouds. And I tried to make sure that I blended the clouds into the blue, and yeah, I used another lighter kind of blue to sort of transition into the darker background, so that it made the clouds look as if they were glowing or something like that. And yeah, I did a sort of round and round technique to get the clouds to look really soft and fluffy, and yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with how the clouds look, and I think it looks pretty good. Now, this next part of the artwork took me forever to do. I initially just wanted to go in and just go around the whole piece with this one pencil, and I have to say, when I started out using this pencil, it was basically full size, and it was I hadn't used that color a whole lot, so I had a lot of that pencil left. And to be honest, I'm very grateful for that, because this background took me basically to the end of the pencil, and by the end of the time of me coloring it in and layering and layering and layering just to get a nice flat even color, to try and get the least amount of wood color showing through, this pencil was pretty short at the end, and that's pretty funny, to be honest. And yeah, I don't regret that, because I really like the look of the background. I think it looks good. Now, as I started filling in the whole piece, I realized quickly that I was getting a lot of color on the palm of my hand, and because I had to obviously lean on some part of it, I didn't want to smudge any of these colors, so I actually decided to get a folded piece of paper, sit that on top, and rest my palm on that, just to prevent any mistakes, because I really liked this piece and how it was going, and I really was scared of messing it up. Now, when I mostly had all of the background filled in, I went back in with that light kind of blue color just to add some more texture and detail to those clouds, and try to blend them as much as I could to get a sort of swirly cloud texture. And you know what, to be honest, I'm pretty happy with it, and I really like that texture that I gave the clouds. I think they look very soft and cloud-like. And yeah, it contrasts nicely with the sharp features of the dragon. now that I had finally got all of that blue colored in, I went in with some details and random highlights here, like I added white to the dragon's eyes and I added a little bit more pink to the wings to try and get some highlights out just to make them stand out a little bit. And then I actually got that lighter blue color and actually added in a few more clouds. Now these clouds actually look a little bit darker than the white ones. However, I actually really like that because it looks like they're further in the distance or not as dense as the other clouds. So it adds a nice little bit of variation there and looks pretty neat. After that, I decided I wanted to add some stars to this artwork just to give it a little bit more flair and, I don't know, make it more interesting for me to look at. And you know, I love drawing stars all over things. So yeah, I went in with my white gel pen to add some stars on this. And yeah, here is the final artwork and I am so happy with this. I really like this artwork and I think it just looks really cool how all the colors stand out. And to be honest, I am very, very surprised how vibrant the pencils turned out on this wood. I will probably be doing this again sometime soon actually. So yeah, if you guys are interested in me doing this again, make sure you like the video and let me know below if you're interested. And make sure you hit subscribe as well to be, you know, to follow more of my content and support my art, that kind of thing. So yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone!